Hello, welcome to Revenant Reads. I'm Vin, and this is the 1001 Books tag. So this tag was created by Sandy over at MsReadsAlot. As usual, I'm late to the party. Most people I know on BookTube have already done this tag. I'm finally getting around to it with just a little bit of time that I have to myself today. Thought this would be a quick one that I'd be able to do. So I believe I was tagged by Mark over at Book Time with Elvis, I think, for this one. Hopefully I'm remembering that correctly. And Sandy had based this, loosely on the 1001 books to read, you must read before you die list, which she has been going through on her own BookTube channel. This is, let's proceed with the prompts. First one, 1001 lists. Do you follow any book lists? It can be a prize list or a challenge like the Rory Gilmore challenge. I don't follow really any lists. The only prize that I kind of pay attention to is the Pulitzer for history and nonfiction. I definitely that definitely catches my eye, and I pay attention to that. Otherwise, I don't pay that much attention to lists unless maybe going into a new genre or a new type of book, and then maybe I'll look for lists that will help me to figure out what the essential reads are for that. But otherwise, I don't really pay attention to them that much. 1001 books. Approximately how many physical books do you currently own? How many ebooks? I don't own any ebooks because I don't have an ebook reader, and I don't like reading off of a computer. I'm not against ebook readers, I just don't have them. And physical books, I'm probably close to, I'm not sure. I'm guessing between 900, maybe, at least, around, maybe 1,000, probably around 1,000 at this point. But, you can see a bunch of them in here. These are mostly books that I've read, and then my kind of ridiculously long TBR books that I haven't read yet. Most of those are upstairs in the house. And I also have another bookcase off our living room for horror stuff, horror studies, horror novels, and things like that. 1001 books read. Approximately how many books have you read in your lifetime? Do you keep track? A few years ago when I did start using Goodreads, I started keeping track. According to Goodreads, the ones that I've logged in there, it's like around 750 or so. I know that there's more than that, and we're just talking like adult books, so I'm guessing it's over 800, 800 900, I'm guessing. Again, that's not counting children's books or any of that. Less than 1,000 though. It's definitely less than 1,000. 1001 Arabian Nights. Have you read any stories from the Arabian Nights? Do you have a favorite? If you haven't read it, do you want to? I would certainly like to read it. I have not read it. And I don't know too many of the stories, but I do like the Ray Harryhausen Sinbad movies with the stop motion animation. So I'm going to say, as far as favorite stories, Sinbad. I don't know if they're anything like the Ray Harryhausen movies, but that's what I'll go with. 1001 flavors. Do you have a favorite food or flavor? I do like Indian food. I love, especially, it's harder during COVID times, but I certainly love all-you-can-eat Indian lunch buffets. That's one of my favorites. So I do like spice in my food. I like kind of bold flavors, intense flavors. I just don't like bland food, really. And I mentioned this in another video, but I don't have too much of a sweet tooth, but I do love chocolate and peanut butter together. So that is one of my few weaknesses when it comes to sugary, treats and sweet tooth. 1001 pages. Have you read a book that is over 1001 pages? Is there one that you recommend and is worth the time? What is the longest book you have read? So, looking through my books, a lot of books that I thought, or at least collections, book collections that, like the complete works of, or at least the works of Sherlock Holmes collection that I have, or that of Jules Verne, H.G. Wells. I kind of figured those clocked over 1,000, but I keep finding that they're just under 1,000. Earlier this year, I'd read Musashi by Eiji Yoshikawa, and that clocks in at just under 1,000. So I guess I haven't read too many things that are over 1,000 pages. The one that just makes it is, of course, Lord of the Rings. This is the edition that, this is the copy that I read back when, you know, the movies were coming out. It was my first time going through it. But I remember just laying up in bed. I think I was in college at that time, and just laying in bed and just for hours reading through. And this has a nice big floppy hardcover, so you know it sat well. Just had a lot of terrific experiences reading this one, and of course it's Lord of the Rings. Yes, I would certainly recommend that. I think another book that clocks in at over 1,000. I don't have a copy anymore because I hated it and I gave it away, and that was Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. I thought it was terrible. Shouldn't have been. Around, you know, I think over 1,000 pages. Again, I don't remember the exact count, but it was around there. And no, I do not recommend that one. Next one, 1,001 Buckets. Do you have a non-bookish bucket list? What is one thing on the list? If anything could be called a bucket list for me, it would pertain to travel. Just wanting to travel again, to get around. I'd love to make it back to Europe again, you know, see more of that continent. Maybe I haven't been to Asia yet. Certainly like to see Asia, maybe Japan. But yeah, as far as bucket lists go, it would just be travel and to not kick the bucket until, you know, my kids are nice and grown. That's I guess that's my bucket list. 1,001 numbers. Do you have a lucky number? Is there a story behind it? I do not have a lucky number. I did see Brian from Bookish answer this, and he had said that he was partial to the number 13, and I have to agree. I know it's supposed to be an unlucky number, but there's something about 13. I like the way it sounds. I think it's aesthetically pleasing for some reason. I'm drawn to it. So, you know, it's not a lucky number, but it is a favorite number. 1,001 authors. Do you have a favorite author and or genre? I don't have a favorite author. I just have authors that I like, but I couldn't say any one of them is my favorite. My favorite genre would certainly be history. I just love learning about the past, learning about, you know, when you learn about the past, you also learn about the present. So, yeah, I'm kind of a compulsive learner, student of life. So history is absolutely my favorite. When I go to fiction, I am drawn often to darker things, like horror. Right now, reading some Gothic, so I am drawn to much more darker literature overall, but sometimes I also do like to delve into the classics. I don't mean like antiquity, I mean, you know, classic novels, so that I can kind of fill in some gaps to understand, just the history of literature, which I was not an English major, so sometimes I feel like I'm playing a lot of catch up with those things. But history would certainly be my favorite. 1,001 activities. Do you have a favorite outdoor activity? Nature walks. You know, I want to say hiking, although I don't like mountain climbing. You know, I don't want to feel like I'm going to fall off and die, or that I'm, you know, going to pass out halfway up a mountain. I like climbing, you know, and going up mountains, but you know, I mostly want to experience the outdoors. And sometimes when I go hiking with my wife, she looks at it as like a workout the entire time, and I kind of want to keep looking at trees. So, you know, nature walks I love, and otherwise I just like being outside with friends, having, you know, a bonfire going or something, having some drinks around the fire, sitting around when the sun goes down and talking. So that would probably be my ultimate favorite, is just hanging outside with friends. 1,001 book clubs. This is something that she has asked. Not a prompt, but a question for the comments. Should I start with 1,001 book club with a month for a read-along? With a book a month for a read-along. And I believe she has already decided from the overwhelmingly positive comments about this that she will be starting a book club. So good for you, Sandy. And that's it. Like I said, you know, there is a thing about tagging, but I think that, once again, I'm the last one to do this, so I'm not going to bother with tags on this. So, once again, you know, thank you to Sandy for creating this tag. And again, Mark, I believe you tagged me, and if that's true, thank you for tagging me. It's always appreciated, even if I don't always I don't always get to these things in a timely manner. But that's the 1,001 books tag. All right, and as always, thank you, BookTube.